In the stillness of dusk, when shadows lengthen and the clamor of the day fades, a man sits alone with his thoughts. The world may see his solitude as a void, a life incomplete without the tender presence of a girlfriend, yet in this quiet there lies not absence but opportunity, a chance to forge a strength that no external bond can bestow. This is the journey of living without a girlfriend, not as a sentence of isolation, but as a deliberate path toward inner mastery, guided by the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. Stoicism, the philosophy of Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus and Seneca, offers a lantern in the dark, a way to navigate life not by clinging to what we lack, but by embracing what we control. You have power over your mind, not outside events, Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations. Realize this, and you will find strength. To walk this path alone is not to shun love or companionship, but to seek a deeper freedom, a life unswayed by the shifting tides of another's will, a soul anchored in its own resilience. Why choose such a road? For some it is circumstance, for others a conscious act of defiance against a society that measures worth by romantic ties. But beneath these reasons lies a Stoic truth. True contentment springs not from another's embrace, but from the well of self-sufficiency within. Epictetus taught, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." This journey, then, is one of gratitude, not for what might be, but for what is. In the pages that follow, we will explore this solitary path through the lens of Stoic philosophy. It is a road paved with challenges, loneliness, desire, the weight of societal judgment, but also with rewards, emotional clarity, disciplined growth, and a love that transcends the need for a partner. This is not a tale of loss, but of discovery, a forging of strength in the crucible of the self, lit by the steady flame of reason and virtue. 1. Inner freedom without dependence. The wind moves through an open field, unhindered by walls or chains, its path shaped only by its own force. So too is the soul of a man who lives without a girlfriend, not bound by the needs or whims of another, but free to roam the vast plains of his inner world. This is the Stoic promise of inner freedom, a state where joy and purpose flow not from external ties, but from the wellspring of self-mastery. In the absence of romantic love, one discovers a liberty that is both austere and profound. Stoicism teaches that true freedom lies in focusing on what we control, our judgments, desires, and actions, while releasing what we cannot. Epictetus, the former slave who found liberation in philosophy, wrote, "No man is free who is not master of himself." A girlfriend, though a source of warmth, can tether the heart to expectations, her approval, her presence, her moods. Without her, a man faces the raw truth of his own sufficiency. He learns to find contentment not in another's smile, but in the quiet dignity of his own choices. Consider the man who rises at dawn, his morning unclaimed by shared routines. He sits with a book, perhaps Seneca's Letters, and reflects on his purpose. His time is his own, his thoughts unshaped by another's voice. Seneca counseled, "Nothing, to my way of thinking, is a better proof of a well-ordered mind than a man's ability to stop just where he is and pass some time in his own company." This solitude is not loneliness, but a canvas for self-discovery, where virtues, wisdom, courage, temperance are painted in bold strokes. In daily life, this freedom manifests in small, powerful ways. A man might choose to walk a forest path, the crunch of leaves underfoot his only companion, his mind clear of the need to please. He might labor over a craft, each stroke of his hand a testament to his own will. Free from the pull of romantic demands, he extends kindness to all, friends, strangers, the world itself, unburdened by possessiveness. Stoicism's cosmopolitan vision, as Marcus Aurelius taught, binds us to humanity as kin, not just to one heart. Yet this path is not without its trials. Society whispers that a man alone is incomplete, and the heart may yearn for connection. Here Stoicism offers clarity. What need is there to weep over parts of life? The whole of it calls for tears, Seneca wrote. The absence of a girlfriend is but one thread in life's tapestry, not its entirety. By embracing this truth, a man forges a freedom that no external loss can shatter, a freedom rooted in the unyielding strength of his own soul. 2. Mastering emotions. A storm brews within every heart, its winds of passion threatening to uproot reason. Yet in the quiet of a life without a girlfriend, a man finds a clearing, a space to tame these tempests and cultivate the Stoic art of emotional mastery. To live without romantic entanglement is to step into a crucible where feelings are neither suppressed nor indulged, but observed, understood, and guided by the steady hand of wisdom. Stoicism holds that emotions left unchecked are chains upon the soul. Romantic relationships, with their highs of affection and lows of conflict, often stir turbulence, jealousy over a partner's glance, anxiety over their absence, or sorrow at their departure. Without a girlfriend, a man is spared these tides, granted instead a stillness to hone his inner discipline. Epictetus taught, "There is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will. In solitude, one learns to release what cannot be controlled, another's heart, and to anchor peace within." Picture a man alone at twilight, the city's hue distant. A pang of longing rises, a whisper of what might be. Rather than flee or dwell, he sits with it, as Marcus Aurelius advised. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. He asks, what is this feeling? Why does it stir? Through reflection, he sees it not as a wound, but as a signal, a call to reaffirm his purpose. This is the Stoic practice of detachment, to feel deeply, yet not be ruled by feeling. In daily life, this mastery unfolds subtly. Without a girlfriend's moods to mirror, a man learns to steady his own. He does not flare with envy when friends speak of love, nor crumble when silence greets him at day's end. Seneca wrote, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality." By facing emotions without the lens of romance, he strips them of their distortions, choosing responses aligned with reason. A moment of sadness becomes not despair, but a reminder to walk, to create, to connect with the world in other ways. This emotional clarity is a shield against life's broader storms. The man who masters his heart alone will not falter when fortune shifts or trials come. He becomes, in Stoic terms, a fortress unto himself, open to life's joys, yet unswayed by its sorrows. In the absence of a girlfriend, he finds not emptiness, but a training ground where the soul learns to stand firm, its strength forged in the quiet discipline of self-control. 3. Focus on self-development. In the forge of solitude, where no other voice competes with the hammer's clang, a man shapes himself. To live without a girlfriend is to claim a vast expanse of time and will, a sacred ground where the Stoic pursuit of virtue becomes not just a philosophy, but a daily craft. Here, unburdened by the demands of romance, one turns inward, chiseling away weaknesses to reveal the strength beneath, a strength rooted in discipline, purpose, and the relentless drive to become better. Stoicism teaches that the good life is one of virtue, cultivated through deliberate effort. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one, Marcus Aurelius urged in his Meditations. Without a girlfriend, a man is freed from the compromises that love, however noble, often demands. His hours are not split between shared plans or emotional tides. They are wholly his, to be invested in the labor of self-improvement. This is not selfishness, but a Stoic duty. To refine the self is to better serve the world. Imagine a man at dawn, his breath visible in the cold as he runs a silent trail. Each step strengthens his body. Each thought sharpens his mind. He might later sit with a journal, as Seneca advised, examining his day. What progress have I made? What faults have I overcome? This introspection, unhurried by a partner's needs, reveals truths, perhaps a tendency to procrastinate or a spark of impatience. With stoic resolve, he confronts these flaws, not with shame, but with the calm determination of a sculptor shaping stone. In practical life, this focus manifests as mastery of skills and habits. A man might study philosophy, his evenings lit by the glow of ancient texts, or hone a craft, each creation a testament to his discipline. He might train his body, not for vanity, but for the Stoic ideal of resilience, knowing that a strong mind requires a strong vessel. Epictetus taught, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them." In solitude, a man chooses growth, building habits that withstand life's unpredictability. This path is not without struggle. The mind may wander, tempted by ease or distraction. Yet Stoicism offers a compass. Virtue is its own reward. Each act of discipline, rising early, studying deeply, or facing discomfort, fortifies the soul. The man who walks this road alone builds a foundation no storm can shake. His life a living ode to the Stoic truth that true strength lies in the mastery of oneself. 4. Facing loneliness to strengthen will. In the heart of a fog-shrouded valley, a warrior stands alone, his silhouette sharp against the mist. No voice calls to him, no hand reaches through the haze. This is the essence of loneliness, a quiet so profound it echoes within. For the man without a girlfriend, this solitude is both adversary and teacher, a trial that Stoicism transforms into a forge for the will. To face loneliness without the solace of romantic love is to wrestle with the self and emerge stronger, tempered by the fire of inner resolve. Stoicism does not deny the weight of loneliness, it reframes it. "What need is there to weep over parts of life?" Seneca asked. "The whole of it calls for tears." Loneliness is not a unique affliction, but a universal thread, woven into the fabric of existence. Without a girlfriend to soften its edge, a man meets this truth unshielded, learning to stand firm where others might falter. Epictetus taught, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it, that matters." In the silence of an empty room, reaction becomes creation, a choice to grow rather than despair. Picture a man in the dead of night, the world asleep, his only company the flicker of a candle. Loneliness creeps in, a shadow whispering of absence. Yet, with stoic clarity, he does not flee. He sits, as Marcus Aurelius might, and asks, "What is this feeling? What does it teach?" It teaches endurance, the art of being enough for oneself. It teaches creativity, for in solitude the mind spins tapestries of thought, poetry, philosophy, or plans for a better tomorrow. Above all, it teaches courage, for to face the void without distraction is to confront the raw essence of being. In daily life, this forging manifests in quiet victories. A man might walk alone through a bustling city, untouched by the couples passing by, his heart steady. He might labor over a task, not for applause, but for the satisfaction of work well done. Seneca wrote, "The greatest empire is to be emperor of oneself." Loneliness, stripped of romantic reprieve, demands this sovereignty. It strips away crutches, leaving only the self to rely upon, a self that grows resilient with each solitary step. This path is not easy. The heart may ache, the mind may falter, yet Stoicism offers a lantern. Every challenge is a chance to practice virtue. Loneliness, faced head-on, becomes a sparring partner, sharpening the will until it cuts through doubt. The man who endures it, like a warrior in the mist, finds not just survival, but triumph. A strength born in silence, unyielding and pure. 5. Strength through initiative. The river carves its path through stone, not by waiting for the rock to yield, but by its ceaseless flow. So too must a man without a girlfriend forge his life, not by hoping for another to bring meaning, but by taking up the chisel of his own will. In the Stoic heart burns the flame of initiative, a call to shape one's destiny with courage and purpose. This is the essence of amor fati, to love one's fate not as a burden, but as the raw material of a life well lived. Stoicism demands action, not passivity. Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens, Epictetus counseled. Without a girlfriend, a man is spared the temptation to defer his happiness to another's presence. He must build his own joy, brick by brick, through choices that align with virtue. This is not mere independence, but a defiant embrace of life as it is. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. The absence of romantic love is no obstacle, it is the path itself, urging him to create rather than wait." Envision a man at daybreak, his desk lit by the first rays of sun. He writes a novel, a plan, a letter to himself, each word a step toward a future he authors. He does not pause for a partner's validation, his purpose is enough. This is amor fati in practice, to love the solitude, the struggle, the silence, and to transform them into strength. He might plant a garden, as you once envisioned in your creative projects, each seed a commitment to growth, each bloom a testament to his or he might forge bonds with friends, their laughter a reminder that love need not be romantic to be profound. In daily life, initiative shines in bold, quiet ways. A man might train for a marathon, his muscles aching but his spirit alight with progress. He might teach himself a skill, undeterred by setbacks, knowing, as Seneca taught, difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body. Without a girlfriend's encouragement, he learns to be his own champion, his resolve sharpened by the absence of external solace. This proactive spirit guards against the chaos of emotional dependence, a serenity you've celebrated as preferable to turmoil. To live thus is to claim ownership of one's fate. The Stoic does not wait for life to unfold. He molds it, loving each moment as it comes. In the solitude of a life without a girlfriend, he finds not lack, but a canvas vast enough for his boldest dreams, painted with the colors of his own unyielding will. 6. Long-term thinking and tranquility. The horizon stretches wide before a solitary traveler, its distant line unbroken by fleeting shadows. In the absence of a girlfriend, a man gains the clarity to see far beyond the present, to chart a course not swayed by the gusts of passion. Stoicism, with its call to reason over impulse, finds fertile ground here. A life unclouded by romantic turbulence, where long-term thinking blossoms into tranquility. This is the Stoic gift of a mind at peace, anchored in purpose, steady through life's storms. Stoicism teaches that true happiness lies in aligning with nature's rational order, prioritizing enduring goals over transient desires. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it, Seneca wrote. A girlfriend, though cherished, may bring emotional currents, moments of joy, quarrels or uncertainty that pull the mind from its course. Without her, a man's focus sharpens. His days are not spent navigating relational ebbs and flows, but building a legacy, be it knowledge, art, or service to others. This is the Stoic ideal, to live for what lasts. Picture a man in a quiet study, maps of his ambitions spread before him. He plans a career, a book, a life of virtue, his thoughts unhurried, his heart calm. Marcus Aurelius counseled, "Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed." By choosing not to see singlehood as loss, he finds serenity, a tranquility you've admired in Stoic reflections on solitude. He might, as you've imagined in your creative works, design a home of concrete and wood, each choice deliberate, a step toward a future he authors. or he might mentor others, his wisdom a beacon for those lost in emotional fog. In daily life, this clarity manifests as steadfastness. Without a girlfriend's shifting moods, he avoids the trap of reactive decisions. He saves resources, not for fleeting pleasures, but for meaningful ends. He studies, not for praise, but for understanding. Epictetus taught, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." In solitude, a man defines his path with precision, each act a brick in the edifice of a purposeful life. This tranquility is not cold detachment, but a warm, steady glow. The man who thinks long-term, unswayed by romantic drama, finds peace in the present, knowing his actions serve a greater good. As you valued in Stoic writings, this emotional clarity is a fortress, a sanctuary where the soul rests, unshaken by life's chaos, radiant with the calm of a life well planned. Part 7. Love Beyond Romance. The heart, like a quiet grove, seeks to give and receive, its roots stretching toward connection. Society may claim that a girlfriend is love's truest form, but Stoicism, with its boundless vision, unveils a deeper truth. Love is not confined to romance. For the man without a girlfriend, this is liberation, a chance to cultivate a love that embraces humanity, friendship and gratitude, woven into the fabric of a virtuous life. In solitude, he learns that the heart's capacity is vast, its warmth not bound by a single bond. Stoicism teaches that love is an act of virtue, expressed through justice, kindness and reason. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What brings no benefit to the hive brings none to the bee." A man's well-being is tied to the good he does for others, not just one partner. Without a girlfriend, he is free to pour his care into the world. Friends who share his laughter, strangers who receive his help, or even the earth itself, tended with reverence. This is the Stoic cosmopolitan ideal, to see all as kin, bound by shared humanity. Imagine a man in a bustling market, his eyes warm as he offers a kind word to a vendor. He carries no romantic love, yet his heart is full, enriched by the bonds he nurtures. He might, as you've envisioned in your creative reflections, build a home, not for a lover, but for community, its concrete walls echoing with shared stories. Epictetus taught, "Be content to be thought foolish." True wisdom lies in loving without possession, in giving without expectation. A man might volunteer, his hands lifting others, or write letters to friends, each word a thread of connection. In daily life, this love manifests as gratitude. Without a girlfriend's presence to anchor his affection, he learns to cherish what is: the dawn's light, a friend's voice, the rhythm of his own breath. Seneca wrote, "There is no enjoying the possession of anything valuable unless one has someone to share it with." Yet this sharing need not be romantic. It is the joy of a meal with companions, the peace of aiding a neighbor. As you've admired in Stoic writings, this clarity frees the heart from longing, filling it with appreciation for life's quiet gifts. This expansive love is a strength, not a consolation. The man who loves beyond romance walks with a heart unburdened by jealousy or loss, his care a steady flame that lights the world. In the absence of a girlfriend, he discovers not a void, but a garden where love grows in countless forms, each bloom a testament to the Stoic truth that to live well is to love well, for all. 8. A mindset free from society's proof. The world hums with judgment, its voices weaving a chorus that equates a man's worth with the presence of a girlfriend. Yet, in the quiet defiance of solitude, a man without such a bond stands tall, his strength drawn not from applause, but from within. Stoicism, with its unyielding focus on virtue, offers him a shield against society's gaze, a mindset that needs no validation, no proof beyond the integrity of his own soul. This is the Stoic's triumph, to live well, not to be seen, but to be. Society demands displays of success, rings, dates, shared smiles, as if a man alone is a story half written. But Stoicism rejects this measure. It is quality rather than quantity that matters, Seneca wrote. A life of courage, wisdom, and justice outweighs the fleeting metrics of social approval. Without a girlfriend, a man is free from the urge to perform, to mold his life into a shape that others admire. He crafts his days for himself, as you've celebrated in your reflections on solitude's power, building not for show, but for substance. Picture a man crossing a city square, his steps steady, his gaze clear. Around him, eyes may judge, whispers may speculate, yet he walks unburdened. He might, as you've envisioned in your creative works, design a home of concrete and wood, not to impress but to live authentically, its walls a testament to his values. Epictetus taught, it is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows. By rejecting society's script, he opens himself to truth, his happiness rooted not in external nods, but in internal alignment. In daily life, this mindset shines in quiet rebellion. He dines alone, savoring the meal, not the image it projects. He pursues his passions, writing, crafting, learning, without needing a partner's praise to affirm their worth. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "To live the good life, we have the potential for it, if we can learn to be indifferent to what makes no difference." The absence of a girlfriend is such a thing, irrelevant to the pursuit of virtue. As you've admired in Stoic writings, this clarity dismantles societal pressure, leaving only the pursuit of what truly matters. This freedom is a fortress. The man who lives without proving himself stands as a beacon, his contentment a silent challenge to the world's expectations. In solitude, he embodies the Stoic truth. Strength is not in what others see, but in what he knows himself to be, a man complete, unwavering, and whole. The tempest roars, its winds clawing at a lone figure on a cliff's edge. Below, the sea churns, wild and untamed, yet the man stands unmoved, his eyes steady, his heart a quiet flame. This is the image of the man without a girlfriend, not diminished by absence, but magnified by the strength he has forged within. Stoicism, with its timeless wisdom, reveals that this solitary path is not one of isolation, but of profound connection to the self, to virtue, to the vast tapestry of existence. To live alone is not to be alone. It is to walk a journey of resilience, lit by the stars of reason and purpose. This journey, as we have seen, is a crucible. It demands inner freedom, unshackled from dependence. It hones emotional mastery, steadying the heart against passion's storms. It calls for disciplined growth, carving strength from daily effort. Loneliness, once feared, becomes a teacher, forging a will as unyielding as stone. Through initiative, the man shapes his fate, loving it as it is. His thoughts stretch toward distant horizons, his tranquility a fortress against chaos. Love, unbound by romance, flows freely to all, and societal judgment falls away, irrelevant to a soul anchored in virtue. Seneca wrote, "As is a tale, so is life. Not how long it is, but how good it is what matters." The man who walks this path crafts a good life, not by the measure of companionship, but by the depth of his character. He builds, as you've envisioned in your creative reflections, not just homes of concrete and wood, but a life of substance, its walls lined with courage, its rooms warmed by compassion. Each step, taken alone, is a testament to the Stoic truth that strength lies not in what one has, but in who one becomes. Picture him now, amidst the storm, his gaze lifted to the heavens. The world may see solitude, but he knows connection, to the wisdom of ages, to the pulse of humanity, to the eternal rhythm of nature. Epictetus taught, "No man is free who is not master of himself." This man is free, his heart a compass, his soul a beacon. In the absence of a girlfriend, he has found not lack but abundance, a life woven with purpose, resilient in its solitude, radiant in its strength. The journey is his, and in its quiet power he is whole.